Hello artists, how are you today? Stephanie Aune once again coming to you with Mixed Media Collage number 41. Okay, first off we're starting with a napkin background once again. I believe on this one I did not put any background ephemera on it, so that's why you have some very white spots. This was a painting that I tried to start and I just wasn't having the greatest of luck with it, so I decided I was going to put these components together. This is a Victorian image. I love this image. It's probably like a Batgirl Halloween costume or something like that. So first off, I am putting the poem that I chose onto just a bit of a frame. And now I'm taking a painted deli sheet, checking out the color, and seeing how I like all of it together. So the poem reads, "She did not choose to be alone. She simply chose to love herself more. It required her to be the love of her own life until someone comes to fulfill that position." And that poem is from the book called Her, H-E-R, Her, and the writer is Pierre Alex Genty, Jeanty. It's a neat little book of poems, just kind of empowering little poems. And I recommend it. I saw it come up on my Facebook feed as, something for sale. So what I've done here is I covered that napkin all the way up, and that was okay. I have had numerous, at this point, 30 backgrounds that had just napkins on it. So I decided I wanted to use this deli sheet instead because I knew that purple versus the yellow that would be on top of it from this image that I found off the internet, I knew that those two together would work really well. Just kind of doing, again, contrasting colors. But I wanted the purple to be really a vintage color as well as, that starburst pattern there. But I thought it would end up being a really good dynamic composition. So I tore that little starburst image. I just tore all the edges on it. And now what I'm doing is I'm taking my StazOn, take any permanent ink to do this, and I wanted to kind of give it a dark outline. So taking the StazOn around all of the white edges just to try to get rid of them a little bit. I don't like white edges. The deli sheet is basically just painted paper, but it's a lightweight tissue type paper, so I use it with my gel press quite often. And if you look in series playlist, you can see me working with gel press and creating some of these backgrounds. So here I'm using Mod Podge. I like using Mod Podge, honestly. It always dries clear if you don't put a ton on there. So, you kind of have to be careful with how much you use. So I'm going over the image with the Mod Podge. And the reason why I'm doing that is I want to protect the image as much as possible. So each layer, gets another layer of Mod Podge over the top of it. Here I'm deciding where I want to position the words. Go lay down. Go lay down. I've got a dog staring at me. Go lay down, buddy. I decide here that I want to put on this little 2-inch circle cutout that I had taken out of an Alphonse Mucha book. And it's the bull. It's Taurus. So I thought it was very fitting for me because my birthday is in May. I am a Taurus. So it works. The key to this book is personalizing it to making it be what you want it to be and for it to say what you need it to say. So I really love the look on this woman's face. She's intense. She's smart. She's having a good time. She's just being herself, and I think that's what I love the most about it. She did not choose to be alone. She simply chose to love herself more. And it required her to be the love of her own life until someone comes to fulfill that position. I just think it's a very fitting for me. Incredibly fitting. Alright, so I did take up some of the Mod Podge. Probably have a little bit of water on that paper towel while I'm doing that. Don't do it with a dry paper towel because you can easily lift up the ink that is on that LaserJet print. So if your Mod Podge gets too sticky, it can pull up the color. It can pull up the whole image. So always try to be careful of that when you're dealing with drawing Mod Podge. Here I'm using a little Fabri-Tac to put the poem down. The reason why I'm using Fabri-Tac is it is a stronger piece of paper. It's not such a lightweight piece of paper, so I think it works pretty well. And of course I get some on the sides, so I have to go back and kind of take some of that out. So now I'm bringing in my Distress ink pads from Ranger. This is the Tim Holtz line. I think this is the antique linen color, or maybe it's the tea stain color. Basically, I'm just going through and getting rid of the white. Since everything is covered with Mod Podge, I have the ability to go over and do this. Now, instead of using, you can use any non-permanent ink for this, or you can use a permanent ink if it's the right color. Basically, when I'm coloring in images, I like to use a non-permanent ink because then I can pull it up with water if I need to. And now I'm just trying to color the image just a touch so that I can take down some of that stark black and white. Just a touch. Some of my Distress inks are getting pretty dried out, so they no longer have the true color. So now what I'm doing is just taking a wet paintbrush, just with water, and kind of going over some of those areas and adjusting. Here come in the water brush pens. You guys see me use these very often, and I really do like the way that they tint. You can tint images very, very easily with them. I wanted a little bit more yellow in that background to just kind of contrast it, make it pop with that purple background. Oh, gotta sharpen the Stabilo. This is a Stabilo 8046. You can buy them by the dozen from Amazon for, I think, around $17 the last time I bought them, or they are about $5 each. So it's definitely a much better deal to get them by the dozen. Alright, so the way that I like to do my Stabilo is I run it across the image first, wherever I'm going to want kind of that smudgy, smoky line. Go all the way around all the edges. Although I decided here that I didn't want to risk putting it near her face. Stabilo smears very, very easily, and I did not want to risk getting it anywhere close to her face and getting any of that black soot on it. It is a water-soluble graphite pen, so as I am taking my real brush pen around all the edges, it makes a really nice, crisp, but faded line. It gives it a nice blurry line, and I really love the effect that you can get using your Arteza real brush pens. If you have any desire to buy anything from Arteza, if you could use the links down in the description, I would really, really appreciate it. Arteza does give me a small commission if you purchase through it, and it would help me out very much. Now what are we doing? I think we're getting close to the end here, I think. But again, yeah, if you could use the Amazon links if you need to purchase anything, that'd be wonderful. If you could leave a comment and that would be great. It would really help out the channel. And the more that you do that, it helps out the YouTube algorithms to get my name out there. If you have any interest in seeing more collages, I do 2 videos a week over on Patreon. and we will be starting a new project here shortly. So lots of fun things going on. You're going to see a few more of these collages. I think we have about 50 videos. So we're getting close since this is number 41. All right, my amazing artists. I'm just going through and fine-tuning with a paintbrush, and that paintbrush just has regular water on it. Now I'm going to take my permanent ink, my Stays-On ink. I'm going to hit all of the edges with it because that's what I've done throughout the whole book, and it gives a great continuity. It makes it look like it all belongs together. And you'll see a fun project with that page coming up. Okay, everybody, I think we're to the end here. I love you. Thank you so much for your support and for hanging out with me. I truly do appreciate it. Stay safe and healthy out there.